Today I'm right here at 131 Warburton Avenue at Family Court, Yonkers Family Court. There is a protest going on behind me, and I'm going to be filming, the protesters soon enough. They are here, the demand is simple. They want fair justice. They don't want a system that pulls to one side, that defends one side. They want their voices heard. And my voice, my platform is going to give them a place where their voices are amplified. So let me show you the group that are here protesting. The demand is stop the abuses in family court. Stop the abuse in family court. So guys, I'm here and I see a group of people across from Yonkers Family Court protesting. And they're not protesting for anything that it's out of the extraordinary. All that they want, it's a fair judicial system. It's a fair system that we look at the case based on the case and not based on who's across from the judge. That's a simple demand. Let's see what they have to say about why they're here. What brought them here? So please tell me first, who are you and why you here?
My name is Tracy Arms. I live in New York. I have been dealing with a custody battle, and I am a victim of domestic violence. My children are victims of child abuse, and my husband happens to be an attorney here in New York. He's been arrested 5 times, and there's no consequences. Strangulation is a misdemeanor. Child abuse, and found guilty of it, you take a plea deal, and it's a disorderly conduct here in New York. Judges are awarding the abuser custody, regardless, even if your children don't want to go, and you have to think about and pray to God that your children come home alive in one piece.
Now, do you have any idea why this might be happening? Why is the system often sides with the abuser, or sometimes become the abuser?
Because the good parent is going to go to the end of the earth and in debt for the last penny they have to pay these corrupt lawyers. And in my case, just because my ex-husband is 6'2", Caucasian, and happens to be someone of the law here in New York, the judges are very biased and they do favoritisms. Judges are paid off. There's always favors going on in my case. Bottom line, it's what parent is going to spend the most money to get more money in the court system. That is it.
I tell people all the time that we need to look at who we vote for, judges. We need to know who we electing. So maybe it's time when we go and elect those judges that be in the system for year after year after year and being unfair, maybe it's time to vote them out.
There's no consequences for judges, and a lot of times we don't get a chance to vote for the magistrates, and they are just automatically signed in by appointed to their court. People are not getting a voice.
And you are tired of it. So Jim, let me talk to you now for a second. Introduce yourself, tell us who you are and why you're here, what your demands are, what do you think the problem is?
My name is Jim Shuck. I'm here for my son, James. The problem is this family court is basically a cabal. It's a money cabal. It's organized together amongst attorneys, AFC for the children, and as she's just said, the children are allowed to live with domestic violence abusers, also ones that have orders of protection on them with children, and there's conflict of interest. In my particular case, Sherry Rackman is the attorney for mom. She's also the attorney for Joseph McAllister, her boyfriend, who is the abuser. That was said to me. Sherry said it on the record. It's just the biggest problem is it's the money, and like as was said earlier, the targeted parent, the caring, loving parent, is going to go to the ends of the earth to fight for their children. I'm on 7-8 attorneys later. I still can't get any justice.
And
for my
probably
son.
a few $1,000s a
$150-some thousand later. Can't get any justice. This is the deep state. That's what this is.
Now, Jim,
Organized.
what do you think the problem is, or what are the possible solutions? What can we as citizens, we as people who actually elect those judges to positions, what can we do to alleviate and solve this problem? Because look, you're not the first person I hear about this situation. Actually, I have a horror story about a father who found out that the 2 or 3-year-old twins were not his. Went to court, did the DNA, proved that they were not his. Guess what? 20 years later, still has to pay for child support for 2 kids that don't belong to him. And the court system said, sorry, they were bought within the marriage, you have to pay.
Right. No justice. They're violating civil rights there. I think what we have to do is we have to call out these corrupt judges, and we have to expose them. We have to keep protesting. We have to get our message out there so that people know. And we have to try to...
Who are those judges, Jim?
My particular judge in my case is Judge Marianne Scott-Aratico Neighbor. Unfortunately, she doesn't look at any evidence. This case is going on for 4 years after my son was kidnapped to Florida, 2,000 miles away, with UCCJA Article 6061 violated. They don't even want to hear it. They don't want to hear any of it. And it's just ongoing. So I think we just have to be proactive, and we have to use the social media tools. We have to let everybody know. Like you said, yes, there's millions of cases out there, but we can't stop. Our children are worth it, and we have to expose this.
So the system has failed
miserably for years, every day.
And failed families. Now, judges, if I talk to some of them, they're going to tell me, well, we look for the best of the child. You think that is true?
Best interest of lying in their pockets.
No best interest of the child. No, not at all. It's the pockets, completely.
In which way? Are you...
In which way? The best example I can say is that my son has been allowed to live with an 8-count DV felon. That's what was told to me. That's not my opinion. And it's not the first time that came up in court. And recently, this particular person, mom's boyfriend, has an order of protection on him by White Plains Judge Michelle Shower, which the case is still ongoing. Clearly not the best interest of the child. The judge has said things on the record, things like mom is allowed to have her own place at a certain amount of time. She's been all over the place. It's just clearly not the best interest of the child. Example after example has been given where the judge ignores that.
You want to tell us something? Seems like you're ready to speak.
Yeah, I'm very ready. So my son Cameron is kidnapped. I met his mother in Long Island. We had a place. Things didn't work out like a lot of couples don't. She moved back to Queens with her mother. A little bit of availability. Then she met a guy. She moved to Staten Island. I didn't see my kid for 750 plus days. I had to track him down. After that, I got involved in a very corrupt court system. Slowly but surely, I think it took them about 6 months. They got me my son. I had joint legal custody every other weekend because I'm being told that moms deserve a weekend. I'm just wondering what the kids deserve. My dad used to pick me up every weekend because my mom had me all week. Things were going really good, but he's severely alienated. He's coached up to hate me. The first 20 minutes, I get an extension of his mother. It's not his true self. He never really lets his wall down. I put him in a timeout, and he kicked the living crap out of me. You name it, bite, smack, punch, spit, everything. All I did was physically restrain him to keep him from harming me or him. He was getting hurt in the process. He had some scratches on him. I just tried to calm him down. CPS said the report was unsubstantiated. The law guardian, very gender-biased female feminist, she said that her 7-year-old client didn't want to go with his dad, and that was it. I mean, at 7, he can't get in his car right here and not put a seatbelt on. It's against the law. He can't die for his country, can't smoke a cigarette, he can't drink alcohol. But at 7 years old, he can decide he doesn't want to go with his dad. They kept prolonging the case because they needed the CPS report. Then it came back unsubstantiated, and they shrugged their shoulders and kept him from me anyway. It's all over money. It's revenge and profit. Long story short, if your ex hates you and she's female, the government will assist you and keep her from you. Now, there's some rare cases where mom doesn't get the kid. That's plausible deniability. I believe it's 89 to 92%. The kid goes to the mom, but there's some cases. It's not always moms on crack. There's moms that just have a rich ex, or an ex that's politically connected, or both. And you know, they're that small percentage of moms that don't get.
Look, I'm a father as well, and the things that you are describing, I felt it. I was on your side. They now old, they grow up, and but there is millions of fathers out there affected by the things you just described. But I only see about half a dozen people here. Now, perhaps we can ask, you know, those parents, fathers, mothers that are watching this, but for whatever reasons could not be here today. Perhaps they can share this video. And if they want to reach out to you guys, to your organization, how can they reach out to you guys?
Father's Rights Movement on Facebook. There's a lot of stuff picking up on social media. A lot of those people are just sitting on the couch feeling sorry posting meetings. That's not getting anything done. You can't call yourself an activist if you're not active. You need to be out here in the middle of the street. If we have enough people, we'll pitch tents. If you could only come for 1 hour once a week, but we have 100,000 people that should only come for 1 hour once a week. We have people on the sidewalk. We have constant signs, noise being made. Now the politicians are paying attention. Now change gets made, you know? I mean, we all just seen this with Black Lives Matter. 100-year-old statues getting taken down because people gave a shit, got in the streets, and got those statues taken down. We're talking about our children, not statues here. Fathers, you need to get in the streets. You know, wives, girlfriends, support them. Get in the streets with them. You know, a couple of females, you know, come out here, speak about your injustice.
Look, I agree with you. If you want to see change, become the change you want to see. Okay, if you want the system to change, if you are unhappy with the way things are going, if you are a father, a mother, and the system has been unfair to you, not pro you, unfair to you, you should be here protesting, making your voice heard, so people can ask for changes, so those judges inside that building can say, look, the people are fed up. We need to change.
This country was built on a protest, okay? Nothing's going to get accomplished sitting on the couch. You got to get out in the streets. You got to make your voice be heard. I'm going to use 4 hashtags. Parental alienation. Family court is a racket. Father's Rights Movement. Free Cameron. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yo, get this real quick.
You and I have spoken. You and I have spoken many times before, at least a few times before. Look, I support this cause. I've been a victim of this. And I wish more people would come and join you, because more people step in, louder our voices will get. Okay, loud. So tell us about your experience and why you're here.
Catastrophic. It has been almost 5 years. We were framed by the judge and the attorneys.
Black window.
The judge's name is Mary Escararico. The attorney's name is Kenneth L. Bunting. Even private attorneys that were contacted betrayed our family. What we're trying to do here is to make people aware of the situation that families are going through. We're not the only victims. There are more victims, but at the end of the day, the victims are the children. How can you take a child from a good mother? How can you frame a good mother and take her daughter just because you think you have the power to do it? You violate your oath of office, which is it means that you don't steal any children. You don't violate or break anybody's constitutional rights. You don't break anybody's state rights, federal protected rights, and that's what happened in family court. The abuses are so blatant, and nobody's holding them accountable. We have public officials here. We have a city council. We have a city council member, which her name is Janine Williams, that should be involved here. They should be protesting with us. They should be trying to pass resolutions and helping the families, the poor families. If you represent a portion of the public, you're a public servant. You're a public servant, and as a public servant, you should be here. You should be helping. You should be listening to the concerns of the people. And that's one of the main things, one of the main problems that we have, is that the public officials don't listen. They don't pay attention to the people. And that is one of the biggest problems that we have. And the system has to change. That judge was an elected judge. She's holding a public office. That court doesn't belong to her. It belongs to the people that she represents. And that's how we gotta view this. We gotta view it like this. We gotta view the situation that we have in such a pragmatic way. If you're a public official, you're accountable to the people that elected you. That's basic, I guess, politics 101 or part of the law system. We need to change the system. Removing children for profit has to stop. The lawyers make money. The law guardians make money. The therapists make money. Everyone is making a little cut.
And the family's getting broken.
And the families, exactly. They're breaking families apart. Children are the most vulnerable, and they're being victimized. We need to change the system. We need to change it. It's been abusive, and it has to stop.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But don't forget, we spoke about this before. When you have protests like this, let me know. I did not know about this, okay? Because media, I feel that it's an important factor in this equation, because that's how the people become aware of what's going on.
Absolutely, I agree 100% with you.
Okay.
And the poor families are the ones that are being victimized. See, you heard being shot saying that he spent more than $100,000 in attorneys. They take his money and they don't represent, because it is a scam that they're running. It is a scam. It's a lie. And as scammers, that's why nobody believes in lawyers and attorneys.
That's why people are losing faith in the system, because of things like this, where they feel that the judges are part of a scam. So thank you very much. Let me. So guys, this is just across from Yonkers Family Court, right here on Warburton Avenue. If you guys want to support this group, come on down. Don't just sit on your sofa and say, oh, they're right. No, be part of the movement. Be part of the demand. Become the change you want to see. Just talking about it is not enough. You must be part of the change. You must be part of the demand.
Criminal, still an innocent child. This is another one. Has been abusing our community. Every time they go to court, they abuse it all for profit. To make money, they don't care.
It seems like, you know, but what I hear here is the system is more interested in generating income, revenues, between the judges and attorneys, instead of really caring about the families. Family comes secondary, so something needs to be done.
We want our public officials to get involved. We want our public officials that we elect to get involved into this matter.
Have you approached any public official? Have you approached the councilwoman from this district?
I approached her, her name Williams, I believe 3 times.
And what did she say?
Oh, she said there's nothing she can do about it, even though there's a lot. Christopher Johnson, I approached Christopher Johnson. Okay? They just talk to you, all sweet. They don't do anything. It's a public matter. Right now, the situation is out of hand. Family court makes $100 billion. They don't even make that money in criminal court anymore. It's a money making.
But you know that councilwoman, maybe Christopher Johnson, they don't have the power. They can have, well, let me correct. They can bring this to the attention of a higher power.
Yes.
But have you spoken with the Senator, Andrea Stewart?
Well, I sent the Senator a notice of maladministration. I believe it was last year. I spoke to a lady, I believe she manages the office of the constituency. But anyway, I sent her the notice. They never got in touch with me. They avoided me. I sent that notice to the governor, Governor Hope. I sent it to Brad Hoylman, Alexandra Biaggi, Jamal Bowman. So all those people were notified.
None got back to you?
Nobody. They don't care. Even though they're public officials that are supposed to be accountable to the people at all times. This is when the voters got to change. We have to try to speak. If you don't work for us, we're going to vote you out. We're going to vote you out. And that's the main problem that we have. We keep electing these public officials that don't defend the people.
But you know, this is like they say, you keep doing the same thing but expect different results. So if you want change, maybe we need to start thinking about voting in different people.
Yes, we need people to run for office. I'm running as a county legislator for the 17th district. I'm running against Jose Alvarado. Jose Alvarado is absent. I mean, he doesn't even look at this problem. The problems that we have. And I'm only one person. I'm not going to be able to change the entire system, but I'm going to bring awareness. And I'm going to use that office when I win that vote. To show the people, and respect them. We want respect. We want to respect the people. And if you got elected, do your job.
Well, you heard, if you guys want to be part of the solution, you need to be here on this sidewalk or in a different sidewalk when people are protesting, demanding a fair system. Not a system that goes based on who's across from the judge, but based on the case, based on what's in front of them. Instead of being breaking families, the judges need to be pro-family. Now let me show you the Yonkers City Court. The problem is inside that building. If you want a different result, perhaps you need a different judge. Thank you for watching. Yonkers Voice on the site. Yonkers Voice reporting to the people of Yonkers to let you know what's going on in the city of Yonkers.
Oh man, that's just coming. Reinforcements have arrived. The cavalry, rolling. Woo!
Stop the abuses of family court!
Stop abusing family court.
Stop the abuses of family court! Judges are getting away with breaking our families. Innocent children are suffering. Innocent children are the victims of this nonsense. It's for profit. It's a profit-making scam.